Alright, alright, alright. 3 more minutes and we will be starting. Got Curtis in the chat. How are you, man?
Hold on.
For sure, take your time. Take your time, take your time.
I just took a big ass bite and you were like, how are you?
Nice, nice. Gotta catch you at the most inopportune moments.
Always. Always. Alright. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom while we get all set up and ready.
Alright, yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
Alright, I'm ready.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Gotta say it not like Matthew McConaughey. Nah, for real though. All right. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? We're ready for this. We're ready for this. It's Should I keep the music on? Should I just keep it paused? What do you think?
There's music?
It's in the stream.
Oh. I don't
See,
have a stream music playing because that'll fucking...
right. I
Right.
wish I could have like my camera going from stream and my camera going in here in Discord, but oh well. Honestly, what we could do next episode is we could just have one whole screen, blow it up, and then have both of us. But
That's true.
honestly, I'm gonna do that right now. Give us just a sec, chat. I'm gonna turn this off and say goodbye to my beautiful face. Let's move that right there. You won't be able to see our lovely little background though, unfortunately. Here's what I'll do. Will it work? Don't think it will work. Okay, well I'll have that set up for the next time. Anyway, I say we just hop right into it. I say hop right into it. Well, chat, today we have a lovely, lovely episode. I'm gonna let Curtis take it away and explain what we're doing today because this was his idea.
Awesome. So today we are going to be discussing the evolution of the Assassin's Creed series. Excuse me. Assassin's Creed's been around for a while, and it's gone through many, many, many iterations, many design changes, and a couple of overhauls. So we just wanted to go ahead and get in and start plugging away at it. So starting with the first Assassin's Creed, I don't know if you ever played that one, Chris.
I see. I only played it once, but it was one of my less favorite Assassin's Creed just because it was around the time I was just getting into gaming. But I still love the game. It was great. It was great.
So for me, it was like the first Assassin's Creed game, obviously, that I played. But the thing about it was like, it wasn't just the first Assassin's Creed I played. It was the first game I played where you could essentially climb anything. You essentially were in like massive free roam.
Right.
And to me, that was huge. Like I had just gotten out of the Marine Corps. I was sitting in my dad's house and this game came out and my cousin was playing it, and I was like, "What is this? This looks amazing." And then the first time I saw him like dive bomb off the top of a building and stab somebody through the neck with his hidden blade, I probably like freaked and was like, "Okay, I absolutely must play this game now."
Right.
So like the whole premise of the first one was that you played Altair, and
The OG.
yeah, well, yeah, one of the OGs, but you had to essentially like you couldn't just run around and slay everybody. I mean, you could, like,
Right.
if you really wanted to, you could, but you had to use stealth tactics in a way that you had never really used them before. You had to hide yourself in crowds and follow the crowds around as you like walk through to gain information on the target that you were hunting.
Right.
And you had to do this like 3 or 4 different times before you could actually go back and go find the guy.
I think blending in that game was so genius. Like, that should have been something we also covered in our last episode with stealth and whatnot and deception a little bit. But man, I think creating that way for the player to like have that little bit of added stealth and added assassination. What was the word I'm thinking of? But no, it's just I feel like you really felt like you were like an assassin in that game because you really had to have that. Yeah, you had to like plan. You had to plan. Like it brought agency to the player. Like you were there. Like I had to hop into this. Um, I'd,
This mindset of
right,
I have to stalk my prey and
right,
find out more about it before I can just go and kill this dude. Like
right,
that was the big thing about it for me was that it wasn't just let me just find this guy and slay this guy. It's like I actually have to learn about this person that I'm
hmm
trying to hunt down and kill. And then honestly, after a couple of the kills, like there was one or two of them where because they always had that little cut scene where he like runs the feather through their blood and blesses their death,
right.
trying to help them move to the afterlife. But
Which I thought that was amazing.
like I felt bad for a couple of them because like they truly felt they were truly like believing in the cause that they were doing. And you're like, well, from this point of view, your cause is whack, but from their point of view, it's a noble, just cause.
Right. Who are the true heroes? The Templars or the Assassins?
Well, I mean, the Templars wanted to control the world,
I know. That was kind of
so like,
rhetorical there.
but something we'll probably get into in the second part of this two-parter.
Next week, yeah.
Uh, yeah, you actually do end up playing as a Templar
What?
in one of them,
That's
and
the.
Rogue.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's like months
That's
later.
right. That's right. That's right.
But I mean, even it wasn't just like stealth and assassin gameplay. You could honestly run up, draw your sword, strike one of the guards, and cause this massive fight where like you just kept dragging on and on and on and on and on.
Right.
Now, the controls were kind of simplistic.
Oh, very.
Um,
That's
I
the
mean,
one reason I didn't like the first one, as much as any of the others. I loved the second one. The second one was one of my favorites, but the first one I felt like was just far too linear. I didn't have
I
the
mean,
biggest decisions over my or the biggest say over my decisions just because I still had a lot of like I could still make my own decisions. Like I still had that free roam capability, but I feel like most of it was just like you had to follow a strict linear path, which that's most of the
yeah,
Assassin's Creeds up until I think it was Assassin's Creed 4, right? Where you could just were sailing the ocean, which that's
yeah. But like what I'm saying is the actual control scheme, not like the exploration, because to be honest, they gave you a lot to do in Assassin's Creed One. You had to find like 50 feathers or something stupid like that, and you had to
right,
find like I think it was like 25 or such of these banners that they had, like these flags,
right,
and there was a different flag for each town that you went into. But I'm saying like the control scheme. So if you get into a fight, you can push square or it was on Xbox too,
X,
so
yeah,
X um,
that is.
to swing at them,
Oh god, the
or you
flags, the
could or
horrible.
you could like sit there and you could like wait for him to attack you and then push B or circle. You would parry and then you could instantly boom dead.
Right. See, that's another thing I didn't like about it so much, and that's most of the Assassin's Creed games. Is if you hit that parry, you can instant death, and it was just I felt like a lot of it at one point, like if you had like max gear, you could just end a single fight in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
But I
You
feel
could
like
just
the
literally parry everything, counterattack them, and you like almost instantly killed them every single time.
right,
And it was such bland fighting, even though they did Assassin's Creed 2 and Ezio's whole chapter, and then Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, they did make different animations for the kills,
hmm
which made it a little more interesting to watch. Because like I remember in the second Assassin's Creed, you could have like this warhammer
oh
with like it was like a hammer on one end and a spike at the back of it.
yep,
And I remember if you did this one of the animations, you would like punch like hit the person in the stomach with the end of the hammer, they would buckle over, and then he would just like grip the hammer and just crush the back of their skull in. And I was just like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah.
almost every time.
Yeah, that the second one, that was probably, if it wasn't for Assassin's Creed 4, which I know a lot of people hate, but if it wasn't for Assassin's Creed 4, Assassin's Creed would be my favorite Assassin's Creed game. Like that's the one that I started playing Assassin's Creed with. I started playing
Yeah,
that game.
the second one was a masterpiece in my eyes.
Oh, for sure. Uh, People like I've heard people say that they don't enjoy how open the world was, but I think like that's what made Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. Those worlds were so massive.
Especially too, because like
Oh yeah.
so in Assassin's Creed One, you were like like it was open world if you were in the map, but then you had to go to like the exit or entrance to it,
Right.
and you would load into the next one, and then you would find like you'd come out of the Assassin's Creed hideout, and you'd go into the like the I guess you could call it the branching world area where you would either go up and to the left, go to Acker, or you go up and to the right, go to a different place,
Right.
and it wasn't like it gave the perception of being open world without truly being fully open world because
Right.
there was still
Yeah.
limited to like where you could go and where you couldn't go. But in Assassin's Creed 2, it was just they were like, here's Italy, do your thing.
Oh yeah. I loved it. Especially um
Yeah, just like
Assassin's Creed 1 didn't have like some like god tier armor, did it? Cuz I remember Assassin's Creed. No, it did. It did. It had Altair's master armor, right?
yeah,
Nope, hold on. My
yeah,
Alexa's going off.
but you could only really I don't remember how you got Altair's master armor because I know in Assassin's Creed 2
You just gotta
you could
find all
get
the
Altair's
pamphlets.
armor.
Yeah, you just gotta find all the or the
The
pamphlets? No,
seals.
the seals. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Pamphlets were
But
something
see, that's
else.
the thing. You had to find in the second one. You had to find the I guess you could call them like dungeon puzzles.
I loved
Excuse me.
those.
Yeah, no, I
Those
did too.
those were amazing.
Because you just like they would drop you in the middle of it. And you literally have to run around and find your way out of it. And you either figured it out or you died and you had to give up and try again.
Quest.
So it's one of those things.
Dogwood asks, wasn't Altair's armor a quest from like a pre-order DLC? What?
I
I'm
mean,
not 100% sure to be honest.
yeah, I was just saying, man, we're talking 11 years ago. That's
I don't think DLC was like a massive thing at that moment.
not massive, but it was a thing.
Oh yeah. It was more of just like a concept in a sense. Because I mean, you still had the DLC like with Call of Duty. You had like a couple of maps you could bring in. Well, I think the horse armor existed by that point.
I do think horse
Okay.
armor existed.
Yeah. Man, I don't remember. It's been so long since I played Assassin's Creed 1 that I've only played it once. And that's just because like for some reason I went from Assassin's Creed 2 because my parents didn't even know I played Assassin's Creed. The way they found out was actually pretty funny. They were not happy. I was very sheltered
You
when it
had
came.
to be pretty young still, too, right?
Yeah, oh, I think I was like not even in middle school by the time I started playing these games. Because yeah, I think no, actually, yeah, the
Starting
first,
off buildings like stabbing people through the neck, and you're like, what
right,
weapon do you
the way they found out, I was actually with my friends. We were outside, and this is a story. I'm gonna get a little off topic here, but the way they found out I was playing Assassin's Creed, I was the only one of my friends at the time who played the game. We were running around in the front yard. Yeah, front yard if you can call it that. It was kind of like a what are they called? They're the conjoined houses, but that's besides the point. And I'm running around. We're doing some play fighting, whatever, and I like run over. I buckle my friend's knees down to the floor, and he just falls down on his knees, and I go wham into his neck, pretending I had a hidden blade. Mom was just like, "What are you doing?" And I was just like, it's from a game. And she's like, what game are you playing? I said, it's a fun game. And I knew if I told them what game I was playing, they were gonna be pissed. So, and they went down to my little game collection. They opened up my Xbox disc tray and they found what was in there. Like, I can't believe you're playing this game. Oh, you're grounded. And I had to sell the game, but I borrowed it from my friend and played it in secret anyway. But
That's awesome.
yeah, but anyway,
That's awesome.
I went from Assassin's Creed 2 to 1, and then I loved how much my decision mattered, and I feel like this is also what kind of triggered me to be a game developer and game designer at that point. But I loved how much my decisions mattered in that game. Even if it was, I still had to do X, Y, and Z to finish the game, but I could go off and do these little mailing contracts, which who the hell wants to do mail? Who wants to deliver mail? But Assassin's Creed made it fun. Here's a timer. Deliver the mail, get some extra money. I don't
Right.
know, but then I went from the movement in Assassin's Creed 2 was a lot more fleshed out than 1. So that's why I obviously beat Assassin's Creed 1, but I think at the time I was just like, okay, well this isn't as like good as Assassin's Creed 2, so I'm just gonna beat it real quick and never play it again. So I didn't do all the like side missions, finding all the feathers, finding all the no, the data fragments weren't in Assassin's Creed at that moment anyway. I know it's not relevant now, but I'm so proud I remembered about Assassin's Creed 2. This is from the wiki on Assassin's Creed 2 DLC. Altair's outfit. You can take possession of Altair's outfit by going to the outfit selection of the really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was a DLC. No, I think we're saying that there was like the god tier armor. If you want to actually finish the game in Assassin's Creed 2, you had to get Altair's armor, but it wasn't. It didn't look like Altair's armor. It just you put it underneath Ezio's armor and like it turned his clothes all black and white, which I thought that was a really cool
Yeah.
design of his armor.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but yeah, no,
Because
I
that
do remember. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was saying because that's one of the things that like drove me to continue playing that game and explore every inch of it
Hmm.
was trying to find all those seals to get that armor. Because when I found that, I was like, oh, this is amazing! Like straight up, this is amazing. And that was that was back in 2000 and what 5 or something like that,
I think
or
so.
no,
It was old.
2011.
No, 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 no. 2011. I
Yeah,
was in high
that's
school by then.
that's my bad, but probably 2011. Honestly, like let's hold on. Let me see. Do a little bit of
Assassin's
this
Creed,
Google research.
Assassin's Creed 1 came out
Yeah,
2007. Yep. I
7. So Assassin's Creed 2 was like
think 2008, 2009.
okay. So
Oh
like
no, maybe I
what I'm
was
getting
in
at,
middle school at that time. Anyway, go ahead.
what I'm getting at is like this game was so
It was a little advanced
amazing,
for ahead of its. It was.
amazing, yeah, advanced and amazing for its time. But it's more of the fact that that game came out. Let's just say the late knots, right?
Right.
Talking, let's just say 2009. There's a game that came out not recently, but semi recently called Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Of course, man. You're the one who got me to play that game.
Right. So, right. Sam said Assassin's Creed 2 was 2009. Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Yep.
So, Horizon Zero Dawn did the same thing or same quote unquote model that Assassin's Creed 2 did, where they showed you the ultimate gear, they showed you the ultimate
Right.
armor, and they were like, there is a way to get this in the game. Now figure it out. And you're
Right.
just like, wait, what? I can, what? I can have that?
Right. I think
Right.
that's smart because it gives the player something to work for. And like I know you and I talk about this a lot, like with boosting in MMOs and whatnot. Like the player needs something to work for. If you just give it to them like right off the bat, or if you don't even show it to them, it really gives them nothing to work for. Like if you knew that there was an armor but you didn't show it to them, and I know the Assassin's Creeds they're known for doing this. They'll show you like maxed gear, maxed weapons. They'll show it to you, be like, hey, so here's some stuff you can get. figured out, you're gonna want it for the future. But like I feel
Right.
like doing that, it gives the player something to work for, and they're like, oh man, like I gotta have this. I gotta do whatever it takes in this game to get that piece of armor. I gotta do whatever it takes to get that weapon.
No, that's exactly how I was. That was exactly. I remember spending like I don't know hours trying to find this last uh, puzzle dungeon so I could get the last seal because I was like, oh my god, I only need one more. I should probably go to bed, but I'm not going to because I must get this.
Right. All right. Be honest. Did you did you ever do all the animus? I don't know what they were called. They were the hieroglyphs. Those were so hard to find.
So like
Not the animus fragments themselves, but they're scattered around Italy. They had the hieroglyphs that you could go into eagle mode or eagle vision, and you could scan
right,
them, and then it showed you how like everything started with the apple of Eden, with Adam and Eve running away with the first
right,
civilization.
right. So and that's kind of hard. Like, was that in the second one? Because
Yeah,
I know the Ezio's story spanned like
three
four
games.
different, yeah, three or four. Was it? I think it was four games to be honest.
It was Assassin's Creed because they if it's four, if we're talking about four, they made a movie about Altair or Ezio. Or wait, no, we're talking about Altair. You said right?
No, talk about Ezio.
Okay, Ezio, yeah.
So that's what
Ezio,
I'm
he
saying.
went from Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelation. They talked about him in Assassin's Creed 3, but you never played as him.
Hmm.
All right, buddy.
I thought he had his own. No, yeah, you're right. It is.
They made a movie about him where he was like really old and he married that chick. It was a short story. Assassin's Creed 2 is one of the few games I 100%. Sam, same. Looking for all those collectibles was painful, but I remember the struggle looking for those glyphs. Oh my god. Those glyphs, those are so. I remember there at one point, I would just run around, or not even run around, because you can't run with Eagle Vision. You had to walk. I
Yeah.
remember there were times I would walk around the rooftops with Eagle Vision. I'm just sitting here being like, where's the glyph at? Where's the glyph at? Man, hours. But no, those flags. See, I never played Assassin's Creed 1 like that, and I really feel like I should go back and play it. Just like how much I love Assassin's Creed because those games gave me so much like enjoyment and fun. So,
I'll be honest though, you will not like it now.
well, of
Like
course, right
nowadays.
now compared to like what Assassin's Creed is in gaming nowadays, Assassin's Creed 1 is not going to be it's not going to be good. But I feel like taking it for what it is, and that's what we do. That's what we do. We take games for what they are. Like if someone hands us a game, we're not going to be like, oh man, this isn't a AAA title. This doesn't have like 60 frames per second. Fuck this game. I'm not playing it. It's like, well man, some do like Phasmophobia for example. Like we got to take it for what it is. Like we can't expect like one dude to make a masterpiece in like 6 months. No,
So like
Phasmophobia I feel like is a masterpiece, but that's a whole nother video.
I do like I do like how they put essentially a story within a story. So
Mhm.
like not only are you playing as Altair and Ezio through the first and second and Brotherhood and Revelations, right?
Mhm.
So through four games you play as two characters in the Assassin's Creed world, but you're also playing as what's his name?
Desmond.
Yeah,
Desmond
Desmond.
Miles.
And Desmond is like the overarching story of the entire Assassin's Creed.
Right.
Like his story is the one that I was like, oh man, I cannot wait until we get to the part where we get to play as Desmond, like actually play as Desmond as an assassin, his actual full on story.
I was the same way. I was very disappointed. Oh, we got an echo. All right, I think it's good now. Nope, nope. I think you're echoing. No? Okay,
Me?
I think it's good now. Never mind. It was a slight echo. Anyway, Sam says that modern world sections, especially in the first one, were so confusing. Okay, the first one was definitely confusing. But I was looking forward to having Desmond as the assassin as well, and I felt like that's what they were leading up to, like Desmond having his own Assassin's Creed standalone. Like it was going to be him, Assassin's Creed, Desmond Miles.
Right.
But I feel like they could, obviously they definitely subverted expectations, but I feel like Assassin's Creed died, and I'm not gonna say like it was dead, and I didn't start liking the games because I still loved the games for sure. But I personally feel like Assassin's Creed died after Desmond died in the third game, and it wasn't like Assassin's Creed how I remember it when I started playing and when I was growing up. It was still Assassin's Creed, but it wasn't the Assassin's Creed I knew.
Right. So like, real quick, back on the topic of those flags, just to touch base with him on Sam, and I'm sure he can testify to this, but just by adding those flags, or just by adding those animus fragment glyphs, that was a small little thing that the developers could do and did to add hours of gameplay into their game.
Oh yeah.
And it was the most minuscule thing, like, oh hey, I'm gonna hide this flag on the top of this building, go find it. But if you told the player to, hey, go find all the flags, and they want to find all the flags, they're gonna spend hours searching for them all. And it was just a tiny little intelligent idea that they had to give the player more playtime within the game.
Right.
Because like all in all, Assassin's Creed 1 is not a very long game. If you
No,
play
it's
it from
not.
like the start to the end of the story, it's probably like 15, 20 hours. It's a
Yeah.
small game.
Well, none of them are really long up until after Revelation. After Revelation, once Assassin's Creed 3 hit, they started getting really long. They started adding, especially when they started adding the synchronization quests, like 100% synchronization with your ancestor.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Being me, oh my god, if so, I think it was like there was some don't kill anyone but the target, or don't take any damage. The second I would take damage, the second I would accidentally kill someone besides the target, be like, oh, restart the level, restart the memory. It was so, oh, hated it. I'd be sitting here being like, I'd be playing, damage, be like, fuck, and be like, get all compartmentalized and like shake around like I'm having a stroke. Oh man. But yeah, no. Anyway, these flags, they actually gave the purpose. They gave a purpose for the player too. It added like, I mean, it wasn't like anything major, but they still added like a slight bit of story element to the game as well. And then Sam says there was this Assassin's Creed knockoff I loved called The Saboteur, a World War II Assassin's Creed, but man, it had 1,500 plus collectibles. What the hell?
No,
I gotta check that game out though. That sounds fun. I really, be honest,
it's a lot.
be honest. I would have loved a World War II Assassin's Creed game.
Well, you may still get it.
That's true. That's true.
I know they're going kind of backwards, but that doesn't. I mean, I feel like they've exhausted a lot of their ideas. But like when I beat Assassin's Creed 2, I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like I love this. I love the fact that you had to like build up the town. You got your own little manor. You had to
That was fun.
you could like buy other different types of weapons, because like in Assassin's Creed 1 you only had Altair's saber, and that was it. But in 2 you could have like war hammers, or like straight swords, or sabers, or whatever you wanted. And then they even put in, I think in 2 they put in the gun, like the gun in the wrist, where he's just like you only had one shot with it, but it was still technically a gun.
Right.
And then on top of that, they expanded upon it. When Brotherhood came out, I was astounded. I remember saying to myself, wait. You're going to tell me that I get to have like this whole Brotherhood of Assassins, and I can just be on the rooftop and see this guy and be like, oh, hey, I don't want to walk over there and kill that guy, but I'm going to send somebody to do it. And then you just push a button, and one of your dudes just drops out of the mid like thin air and just kills
Yep.
this guy, and then runs off. And you're like, well, that was awesome.
Oh yeah. I think I think that was a like excellent addition to the games. Like
Yeah,
being able to, because I think they brought it over into like the rest of the games as well. I think they stopped doing it after Assassin's Creed 3, but I loved that. Like you said, you have the guy jump down, you kill. There would be times where I'd run into the kill quest, kill the dude at the end of the memory.
hmm
I would just run in there, have my dudes kill all the people for me, get in a fight, and I'd literally just go kill the guy. Be like, well, this took like no time at all, but it was fun though, because you have a team rather than being by yourself. Now you actually have what like they started in the first one. You have an Assassin's Brotherhood.
right.
So
A whole team of people. Right, no, you're absolutely right. But it's like, and then like Sam was saying, the town building part, they literally just made it better and better and better. Because like in two, it was cool because it was new, but then in Brotherhood, it had a purpose
right,
because like the bigger your barracks area was, the more people you could recruit, or there was a shop in your own little town at that point. And then in three, it just like took off. Like in three, it was just like skyrocketed. Although I'll be honest, I'm not a real big fan of three.
no one is, no one is. Sam, I've never played Brotherhood. Does it still hold up? I think it does. I think it does. There's some pretty cool armor you can unlock in that game as well.
Yeah.
What else
I
is
mean,
there?
if Assassin's Creed 2 is your jam, Brotherhood is better than 2.
I gotta disagree. I gotta disagree.
No, no way, bro.
I really
No
have to
way.
disagree. Like, I got Unity for free from Ubisoft, and I still need to go through that. Unity is another game I'm kind of iffy about, and that's honestly just because I feel like Unity was not an Assassin's Creed game. It really had no purpose of having the Assassin's Creed title. You played Unity, right?
No. I
No.
kind of fell off. I kind of fell off of Assassin's Creed. Like I played them,
Mhm.
but I didn't devote as much time as I had to one, two, Brotherhood, Revelations, four. Like
Well, yeah.
after
4 was the last one
after
I
Rogue,
played.
after Rogue, it was just like there. What's the point? It's the same game.
Well,
And I would always, like I said, I would always play it, but it was always the same game, just reskinned.
right. And that's what I'm saying. Like the whole concept after after Sam or not Sam died. After Desmond died, the game really it changed. It was no longer like I said the Assassin's Creed I knew growing up. And so like I agree. I fell off for a long time. Yeah, 3 was the last Creed game I played. I disliked it so much. Yeah, Sam, the Assassin's Creed 3. It was
A great
I
concept.
appreciated yeah, I appreciated where they were going with the game, and I feel like it like opened up, especially with the naval battles. That was like the first game with the naval battles. I feel like they opened up so much, and then they just fleshed it out so much more on Assassin's Creed 4. But yeah, no, like they just started changing so much after Assassin's Creed 4. I That's the last game I played. I picked up Unity. I tried to play it for a little bit. I didn't like it. What else was there? There's Origins. Origins was cool. I see. The only reason I liked Origins though is because they kind of told like how the Creed started. I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, but that's a huge revamp on the series.
Oh
Like
right. Oh yeah.
yeah, like that's gonna take like honestly, I feel like Origins and Odyssey are gonna take us like the majority of the next episode to talk about because
Oh for sure.
there's just so much that they did, so much that they changed, so much that got reworked, revamped. So many influences that they stole. Like I don't want to say stole, but they mirrored from other games.
Well, yeah, they used the influence of their For Honor game with the combat system in Origins. The
In
like how you
in
can
a
like
way, yeah,
sidestep and like shield bash or
right.
yeah.
But I mean, like with so going back to two and that whole thing. Um, if you haven't played Black Flag, Sam, I would say definitely give it a try, dude, because
It's one of my favorite games. No, it's my
you'll,
favorite Assassin's Creed game. Just for the
you'll
the sole purpose of the naval battles. Oh, I love the naval battles. They honestly give me a hard on sometimes.
dude, I remember when 4 came out, my buddy had I think he had just got an Xbox One,
Okay. Yep.
and I was over hanging out at his house, and he was like, "Yo, you have got to play this game,"
Mhm.
and I'm like, why?" It's the same thing, and he's like, "Shut up and listen to me. It's not. It's leagues far and beyond better than any Assassin's Creed that has come before it." And I'm like, "What do you like? Why?" And he looked me dead in the eye, and he goes, "You're a pirate."
Yep.
And I was like,
Okay.
"Okay,
I'm
okay,
sold.
right,
That's
right."
pretty much that's pretty much what one of my buddies did for me as well back when the game came out. You see, I really enjoyed the story as well. It wasn't an Assassin's Creed story. It wasn't someone who had this awful upbringing and then all of a sudden just like was brought up into the Creed. This man just he found an assassin who was about to betray the Creed, killed him, stole his armor, went to the place where he was gonna do his little, hey, I'm gonna sell out some assassin secrets and whatnot, and then finally realized what he did wrong, and he says, you know what, time to be an assassin. So I really enjoyed it because it was a different take on someone being brought into the assassins in the assassins brotherhood.
Right, he kind of like named himself an assassin. He wasn't
Right.
trained. He didn't. Nobody was like, "Oh, hey, you should come join the Creed." No, he was just literally like,
From zero to hero.
"Oh, damn, I killed this guy. There's a way for me to get some money. Oh
Right.
God, the thing I just did is bad. Let me make it right."
And even then, he still didn't necessarily care. Like he still had that pirate mentality. He still was like, I'm still a pirate first and foremost, but like I'll help the assassins out by calling myself an assassin. He really didn't become an assassin until, did he become the Grand Master or the Master of the Brotherhood at that time? Because I remember at one point all of them got wiped out. But
Yeah, well, so
hold on, I need to get my do right bottle. Keep talking.
you're good. No, it's just like I don't honestly remember if he became the master assassin, but I do know that he basically took a ship. You meet Blackbeard, which is outstanding. Like that's one of the things that really gets me about the Assassin's Creed series. It's like the historical people that they portrayed. Because in 2 it was Leonardo da Vinci. In 3 you get to talk about you get to see like basically the start of the Revolutionary War, which for Americans is a huge thing. Because like especially when you talk about seeing Benjamin Franklin, I think you get to see uh, Jefferson. I know you meet Washington, but like just to see these historical figures like come to life was a big thing to me.
Oh no, for
And
sure.
and then in 4 you get to meet Captain Kidd and Blackbeard, and it's just like these are people that we've read tales and heard stories about, but you've never actually seen them portrayed.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It's for me being the history buff I am. It really tickles my fancy there because, like you said, like you get to you read all these tales, especially for Assassin's Creed 2, going back to Leonardo da Vinci. That's my hero. If there's anyone I can go back in time to meet, it would definitely be Leonardo da Vinci. He is literally the father of everything modern. Architecture, art, science, not necessarily physics. I'd give that more towards um, Newton, but like he literally is the reason we are able to like fly. The way he wanted to make a man fly was so beyond anyone's thought process. He was drawing the wings of a bird because he wanted to draw the first pair or the first angel with a pair of wings. So he's just sitting here doing his thing. He's drawing the bird's wings and he's studying. He's just like, okay, what makes the bird fly? Like this really shouldn't allow the bird to fly. But then he started getting in the concept of lift and drag. He says, you know what? I wonder if I could do this, but for a person. I made the wingsuit. Wasn't a huge success, but he was able to get someone to like fly for a short period of time. Same thing
Well,
with
and you get to use that in one of the assassin. Like, I think it's either
it's
two or
it's
it's
two and
Brotherhood.
it's two and Brotherhood. It's
Right.
both of them.
So like you literally get to meet the man
Right.
and then use his invention.
Right. And I
And
love it.
right.
And then even I won't talk too much about Leonardo da Vinci. Like I said, he's my hero. If you don't know a lot about Leonardo da Vinci, honestly, chat I suggest doing like a huge like crash course on Leonardo da Vinci because he's responsible for a lot of the things we have now in our modern culture. He revolutionized artwork, he revolutionized architecture, he revolutionized engineering, he revolutionized any industry that you can possibly think of, but that's not the point of this episode. But yeah, no, like the historical aspects, like they really have people doing their like knowing their shit. Like people come into Ubisoft and they know how to hire their history buffs. I'm thinking some of these people might honestly have a double major at some point, like double majored in
Well, I
game
mean,
design and history.
they all start out the same. They all have the same starting text box that says this game was researched and developed by a multicultural team
Right.
of various beliefs and faiths. And you really need to stress that because like that one text box says, "Oh hey, listen, we're not we don't all believe the same thing and we're not saying that what we're portraying here is historically accurate, but it does have historical accuracy."
Right. And the diversity in the games too. Like I'm actually doing a research paper on this for my school. Like having that much diversity in a game, you can target so many. Like your target audience goes from this to to this. It blows my mind. You can reach so many people just by having, hey, we're not trying to piss anybody off, but there's gonna be some cultures that are represented here. This was just historically how they were represented. Like in Black Flag, you would go to the plantations and you would see Africans working on a plantation, a sugar field, a
Right. And
um,
that was one of the things I loved was actually like you saw the slaves, but
and
there
you
was
freedom.
some missions where your whole purpose was just free the slaves. Like
Right,
free the slaves from this plantation. And you're like, well, that's kind of a cool take on it. Like like uh Sam just said they had a person whose whole entire job was just to do a 3D model of Notre Dame to make it perfect. Now, on that point, Sam, I think that was
unity.
Unity.
Yeah, no, that was.
Yeah. So, you remember a couple years back when Notre Dame caught on fire?
Yes.
They actually used They actually used Unity, and they used it, and probably currently are using it to fully restore Notre Dame to what it was, and they're using the model in Unity
That's
because it
awesome.
was so perfect.
Right.
So they're using a video game to accurately restore a historical monument.
Right. And that's another thing about video games. I love how a lot of people, and I love how the media twists it. Oh, the video games are responsible for violence. Video games are bad. Video games are the devil. It's like, no. Just there's bad people who play video games and they see this stuff and they think maybe I can do that. It's not the video. It's like the whole concept of a person doesn't kill people, a gun kills people. No, it's the person responsible, the person who plays the game. They see the stuff and then they think, oh, maybe I can do that. It's not the video game saying, hey, you should go do this real quick. It's more of just the concept of like bad people do bad stuff. But anyway,
Right.
I love how video games are able to bring out the positive in the world because there's a whole side of video games that not a lot of people know about, and it's something that I eventually want to get into where it's called serious gaming. It's not like I take gaming seriously. It's basically addressing real world issues I'd love to make a period game. We were working on one for a while. Sam, I would love to do that honestly. If you ever come up with an idea or any of us come up with an idea, I'm down. But there's a whole side of gaming called serious gaming where it's you address real world issues and you put them out and you allow people to play them. There's a company called Design Interactive. They're a serious game company and they make games for kids who are born without limbs or they are amputees and they teach them how to work muscles in their arms, their legs, their hands that they don't have by playing a VR game. And after about 6 months of playing this game, they give them a prosthetic limb that is it's a very advanced prosthetic limb, and they say, all right, use this prosthetic limb, but play the VR game again. And they're using the prosthetic limb subconsciously. They're not knowing that they're like reaching out and actually grabbing it, like their hand is moving. So I think people don't appreciate games for what they truly are sometimes because there's so much that like Assassin's Creed, it's using, it's helping Paris rebuild the Notre Dame. Like that's amazing. Like people, I feel like games are very underappreciated sometimes, and I want to be, and I want to help people see the positive in gaming. I feel like I'm starting to do that with my parents. They used to hate games. They used to hate video games,
Right.
but now that I'm doing that with my career, they're starting to see all the positive. I'm starting to show them like, hey, this is something I could do. It's very fulfilling. Like even just publishing a game. That's so fulfilling. You get your name out there, you get your name the second like I hardly worked on Knife Fight. Sam will say that I did a whole lot of work, but I feel like I compared to the other guys, I feel like I didn't do nearly as much. But still seeing my game on Knife Fight, you did do a whole lot of work. I thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. But even seeing my name on a game is just like, oh my god, like that my name is now out in the world. So, but anyway, back to Assassin's Creed. I'm known for bringing tangents to podcasts. I'm sorry, Chad. But anyway, we were talking about the modeling and the artwork of Assassin's Creed. Amazing, amazing. Like I don't know how they do it sometimes. It's
Well, like I think like I feel that. So if I was to say, okay, this is how they did it, I really think that they went to like so Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, you play in Italy.
right.
So I really feel like they went to Italy, spent some time there, looked at looked at old uh, topical graphs, maps, whatever you want to say that they can look at, and they were just like, hey, this is what it used to look like. This is where stuff used to photometry scanning and a
In the
hundred
hundred
plus people in the artwork team. Yeah,
right. Oh my
that's
god.
right. But that's what I'm saying. But even still, like Italy's so old. There's like layers of city. Like
Yeah.
the current city is built on top of the city that was there 100 years ago. That's built on top of the city that was there 500 years ago.
Right.
So it's like which portion do you use? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, how do you figure out that this building was here and actually here, and this is what this building really looked like? And that's one of the things that gets me because they're so historically accurate that when you play those games, you're not just like, oh, my name is Ezio and I'm in Italy. You're like, no, I'm actually standing in like 15th century Italy.
There's I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Guido's Campanelli. Campanelli. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's that this tallest building in Assassin's Creed 2. I'm
Okay.
gonna drag it over so just chat can see it real quick. This building right here, I'm pretty sure you recognize it, but this is a building in Assassin's Creed 2.
Yes.
Another perfectly modeled 3D model in a game, and we could literally like right here. Um, this looks like Assassin's Creed 2 right here. Like I could pull this image up and I could tell you this image is from Assassin's Creed 2 and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, no, it is. I believe it." But
That's
that's
what I
a
was gonna say. I could tell you that that's an Assassin's Creed 2 image, and you would be like,
yep,
yeah, probably.
sure, I believe it. But like it's not like they do so that art team like props to the Ubisoft art team. Like I know Ubisoft has a huge history department, but a lot of cities and museums freely give out their records. Yeah, and I mean sometimes that's necessary. Like you got to have those bit of records, but like even then, like being able to model something and have someone say that it's a real world picture and say, yeah, no, this is from a video game, and being able to be like, oh yeah, I believe it. Like that takes hours and hours of work. So it makes me think it's like these people either A have too much time on their hands or are way too dedicated to their work, and I want to be that dedicated.
Then they wouldn't be way too dedicated.
Well, that's true. But no, for
Then
to the layman, that you could say they're too dedicated. But even then, like I feel like people underappreciate the time it takes to make a video game, and I honestly I hate it whenever I hear someone say, "Man, this game sucks." Like it's so buggy, it's so this, it's so blah blah blah. It's probably a beta, and they don't understand the difference between beta and gold. But
right. Well, and that so like so I just had an interview, and during the interview, um, one of the people, because it was like a panel, it was like three people, and one of the
right,
people that were interviewing me was like, oh, like he's like, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen on a resume. You have your degree in game design. And I was like, yes, sir. And he was like, well, tell me a little bit about that. And like getting into it, the point that I brought this up for was that like people don't understand unless you're in the gaming industry, people don't understand that a common game that you would play, like say Assassin's Creed,
right.
took millions of dollars in funding and probably like 3 or 4 years just to get the first Assassin's Creed out
Right.
because they had to build everything from scratch. They had to build the framework up. They had to build all of your interactions, your mechanics. They had to build the entire world. They
Not
had
to
to
mention the
research the
physics
premise.
engine.
Yeah, like there's so much that goes into it. And like when I started explaining it to these people, they were just like their jaws dropped. Like all of them, they're like, "Well, I didn't realize it that much went into a video game." And I'm
Right.
I'm like sitting here, yeah, you don't realize it until you start to get into it, and then
right.
the sitting there like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Yeah, that the game Candy Crush that everybody loves to play. Even that game probably took at least a year, like at the very least a year, and that's such a simplistic match three game.
Right. Hold on. Sam just posted something in the Discord. If by the way, chat, if you're watching this and you're not in the Discord, I highly recommend coming in. We'll play games a lot. This is just our main focus of this channel is just the podcast. But we also play a lot of games. I do a lot of streaming of them, but he threw out a the Smithsonian 3D I can't speak right now. 3D digitalization website, and they have a lot of cool stuff. I'll pull this over real quick, but they have a whole bunch of 3D models of stuff that we can actually see in the Smithsonian. Um, Obviously, the Apollo 11 moon lander,
Mm-hmm.
detailed almost perfectly, if I might say so myself. Like this is intricate. Okay, well, if I can.
They even got Rust on it. That's
Right.
amazing.
Wow. Anyway, um, and they're all free to use. Interesting. I did not know that. But yeah, like the like you said, Curtis, the time people greatly underappreciate games. Like are not just games, the time it takes to put in. Like you won't believe the amount of conversations I've had with people in high school who like, oh, you play video games? It's pretty stupid. Like, why would you want to play something like that? It's just like, okay, do you go to the movie theater to watch movies? Well, of course. Well, that's pretty stupid. Well, why is it stupid? Well, Think about how much time it makes to make a movie. That's the equivalent of making a video game. Like you have to do post in a movie is almost the exact as the production phase in a video game because
Right.
you can shoot the movie, which I consider the pre-production in a video game. You can film the movie with the green screens and all the backdrops and all the set. That's pretty much I feel like the production phase of a movie. But then you send the movie into post. That is doing all like click and drag for all the design work, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, creating the levels, creating the framework, creating the UIs. Like UI. Don't even get me started on UI. Video game companies have a team dedicated to creating UIs. That is not
Yes.
something I personally don't. That's personally not something I want to do, but I will do it. Obviously, if someone gives me the job, hey, go work on the UI, I'll be like, all right, cool, hell yeah, money, sure. But like, people work on so many different aspects of video game. It's like they're underappreciated, and I'm not gonna be the one to be like, you gotta appreciate my work. But it's like I feel bad for some of these companies that make great games and one little bug and they get told their game is shit.
Yeah, because people don't understand. But also, like, uh, you're saying like, oh, why do you play video games? My argument used to be, well, I don't know, maybe because it helps me work on my critical thinking skills. It helps me work on my cognitive functions. It helps me work on my reaction time. It works on my hand-eye coordination.
Right.
Like, video games do so much that you don't even cognitively know you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Like, your hand-eye coordination. You're not thinking that by whipping around the map in Call of Duty and quick scoping somebody that you're actually improving your hand-eye coordination, but in
Right.
fact you are.
Oh yeah.
You're also you're also challenging and improving your critical thinking skills because you have to think about where you're going, where the enemy is, where you are, how much ammo you have, how much is left in your clip, which gun do you have, what's the range on this gun, is there bullet drop, and all of these things are going through your mind in microseconds,
Oh
and you're
yeah.
making split-second decisions on them. But they're like, "Oh, video games are stupid. Get out of here with that. Physical therapy's stupid in that case." Like,
Right.
it's so ridiculous.
So it's always the meathead who talks about it like that too. And then you find out if a few months later that they secretly play video games. So you're just like, all right, bro, you just want to look cool in front of the pretty lady, don't you?
Right,
But anyway,
right. Because like Assassin's Creed, like there's some things that you don't think go through your head that go through your head. Like, can I make the jump from the top of this building onto that building?
oh, you don't know how many
Like,
times I've just plummeted to my death doing that.
right, right. It's like, should I go into this area and just start fighting everybody, or should I go around the side and try to be sneaky? Some people are going to choose one, some people are going to choose a ladder. Like, that's just how it is.
Got good, just bored at work. LOL, Chris, I feel that, but I'm not bored. So haha, just kidding. Anyway,
There's many different things and ways and stuff that you can see video games as through different eyes. Like,
oh yeah.
again, through the dev's eyes. If you look at it through a different pair of eyes, if you walk in a different person's shoes a mile, you will see exactly what's going on.
Oh, for sure. And that's why I feel like Assassin's Creed does a really good job of like trying to force you to look through someone else's eyes through the historical lens that it creates.
Yeah.
Going like especially going into Revolutionary War, Assassin's Creed 3 wasn't my favorite game, though I've beaten it like 4 or 5 times just because I love Assassin's Creed and it's gonna keep pulling me back to the franchise, no matter what they do. Like I still like I don't think I have not fully beaten Origins and I have yet to play Odyssey. I know they're both fantastic games, but I'm definitely it's pulling me back because Valhalla looks so good. And I know like no matter what they do, they're going to always tickle that person's fancy who loves history like me and I know like you and a few of you in chat. I know that Assassin's Creed they're always going to keep pulling you back just by having that little bit of like history and that alone aside from the design work aside from the artwork, and aside from the dev work, my cat is tickling my feet here. He's trying to attack me. I'm gonna spray him. Do right, buddy. Do right.
Aside from all that, my cat's tickling my feet.
Right. But no, aside from all of that stuff, the amount of time it takes to actually make sure a game is historically accurate takes a whole lot of research. And the
Yep.
fact that they have a team sitting down saying, "You know what? I'm going to be the one to do the job that nobody likes, research." I'm one of those people. I don't mind research. So if you throw me, be like, "Hey, go make sure that this game is historically accurate," I'll be like, "All right, bro. I'm gonna go do it." See in about 25 hours, 24 to 25 hours. Like, see you later. I'm gonna sit on my computer with my pot of coffee real quick. But no, it's like that alone takes so much dedication and so much effort. Like, chat. Let me ask you a question. Who here loves research? Who here is going to be that person to say, "Oh, I'll go do research." I hated research in high school, but now I
I
love
mean, that
research.
depends on the topic, to be honest with you.
What? Oh, you froze. Frame rate. Uh oh, what happened?
Then
Okay,
yeah, and like if it's historical, then yeah, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna my internet's being wonky.
that's fine.
Um, but I will gladly volunteer to sit down and be like, okay, yeah, I will put 100 hours, 200 hours into this research because it's just something that I truly enjoy doing.
Right. And by the way, Chad, I know I said 24 hours. That was just a number I pulled out of my ass. Don't expect research to take 24 hours. But yeah, no. Like, think about it though. Think about the person who works on the physics engine and who is the physics buff. Are they going to be the one to say, okay, I'll go do the research? No. And that's why, like most companies, they have different teams. They have the team for research, they have the team for PR, even, which is a whole nother or another whole nother beast to tackle. But I feel like we're getting a little off track here. I feel like we should bring it back into Assassin's Creed in this next half hour. Um, I think we ended on between Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed 3. Uh, I feel like
Yeah.
we should
So
cover up how much Assassin's Creed from Assassin's Creed 2 and how it got to Assassin's Creed 3. I think we should cover how much it changed. And I think we started doing that with the whole Assassin's Brotherhood and how you can call your people in.
yeah, and but see that's the thing. Like as the Assassin's Creed series started to get more entries, they didn't really change anything.
Right.
It's the same fight mechanics, it's the
Mhm.
same movement mechanics, it's all the same buttons, it's all the same everything, and that's what I'm saying. Like they didn't really do anything except for reskin it
Mhm.
and throw a new story on it.
Right.
From Assassin's Creed 2 to basically all the way up to
I think it was
um,
Revelation.
Origins. It was
Oh.
Origins because Origins they revamped everything.
Okay.
So
Okay.
from two on, so like what is that? That's
That's Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelation, 3, 4, Rogue, Unity, and I think that's it.
so eight different entries into the game. They had the same fight mechanics. They had the same everything. Like they had the same buttons, the same fight mechanics, the same dodge mechanics, the same parry mechanics. They had the same uh, running. They had the same sprinting, fast travel. They had the same everything, all of it, and that was like
Hell, they even had the same data fragments for a while.
yes, like that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
dude. They had the same types of missions. They had the same types of weapons. They had the same base building. They had the same everything. Like yeah, in four they were like, hey,
Let's throw
we
ship.
we should probably flesh out this naval battle thing. But
Right.
guess what? They still have in an Odyssey
Mhm.
naval battles.
Oh yeah.
Like it's it, from so for 8 different iterations of the game to me, the only thing that they changed was the story, the skins, and they added naval battles.
Actually, Syndicate. I just remember us about Syndicate. That was a whole different game. I feel like they changed a whole lot with Syndicate.
I mean, depends on how you look at it because it's still the same fighting mechanics, it's still the same.
Eh, well, kind of. Cause so like in Syndicate, you can have the people um who are on the assassin side. You can have them like if they see you in a battle, they'll just hop in by themselves, rather than like you have to actually call them in. So if you're on like the corner and you see like the green hats, I think that's what the team is called. They'll just jump in. They'll be like, "Hey, yo, what's up, buddy? Well, let's get in here. Let's fight." We got people coming in.
Right, right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, think about it. All that really is like, and we're talking Syndicate.
Right.
That's the same thing from Brotherhood, except now
That's a good point.
you don't have to say,
Good
hey,
point.
fight this dude. They're just like, oh, my boy's in trouble. I'm gonna go fight that guy.
That's a good point. That's a very valid point. And I feel like that goes on the concept of I call it the Call of Duty method or the Call of Duty model. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Obviously, they're making billions of dollars on these Assassin's Creed titles with the same game over and over again. And I feel like it's the reason people keep coming back is like we keep talking about. I feel like it's the history. People love
Yes.
history. They love seeing history told in a fantasy and in a fiction environment. Like obviously everyone loves a not well, okay, not everyone because I know there are a lot of people who hate nonfiction, but I'm one of the few who I will love a good nonfiction telling of historical events. I'm a documentary buff, but like everyone loves seeing this stuff in fiction. Everyone loves seeing having someone's story told, even if it's not 100% accurate to the real world. Historically, it'll be accurate, but obviously, Assassin's Creed, you have someone jumping off of a like 300 feet uh, above surface level. You have them jumping into a hay bale. They're obviously gonna die, but
Oh, you're going right through the hay bale. You're gonna be a splatter on the concrete
oh,
underneath it.
of course.
Like,
But people love that because it's like I can push the boundaries of physics, but I can also get an amazing, amazing story told while just doing a whole like. There is no way this man. I'm just saying this man, the assassin you're playing as, is able to climb up this building, half of it without his arms being just rubber,
yeah,
and like
that's
continually doing it because you have free climbers obviously, but they'll climb a mountain and then they'll take a break and be like, okay, whew, I'm winded. Now you can have this man climb a building, run over the next building, climb that building, run over the next building, climb. This man should be at least like 250 pounds of just lean, mean muscle. But like
right. All
he's
upper body.
oh yeah no this man he's like he's tight he's lanky. Well, okay, not completely lanky, but he's got like the physique of a featherweight MMA fighter,
Yeah.
but he's like doing stuff that like requires so much freaking muscle. And you just look at it and be like, why is this man not like the size of the fucking Rock? Like that's my thing. I don't know, but that's besides the point. I do like though how because I personally don't want to see a game. They have this like fleshed out mechanic that they've been working on so long, the fighting mechanic. I don't want to see them have this thing, they throw it out, and it's all of a sudden changed up every iteration. Because, yeah, they do change things. They change up the environment, they change up where you're located, they change up the time period. And that's great. But, like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're not going to want to play a game and then be like, okay, I learned all the mechanics for this game. And then they're going to hand you a new game and be like, okay, well, here's some new mechanics. I learned all the mechanics for this game. Here's a new game. Here's some new mechanics. And I learned all the mechanics for this game. It's going to be different throughout. And it's just going to, there's no cohesive, it's not cohesive. I do like how they did change the fighting mechanics, like you were saying, in Origins. I think it was pretty neat. I do enjoy
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Like you're saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But obviously it did break.
Well, yeah, because it was like we were talking about those one-hit kills. People were starting to be like, okay, well, I also enjoy the fighting of this game. Let me experience that a little more. So then they were like, okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. We'll try to fix that, and we're gonna start working on that, and we're gonna allow you guys to come up with a new way to fight. And I feel like it was because the people who were playing Assassin's Creed 1 through X, I don't know where it ended. Syndicate, I think we said.
I think it is Syndicate. Honestly, let's see.
But
Yeah, Syndicate was the last one that
okay,
followed that mold.
right, like that was our time. And now I'm feeling like since they started at the beginning, the very beginning of the Assassin's Order, I feel like they're trying to like not necessarily reboot. It's sort of soft reboot, I feel like. They're trying to say, okay, so there's a new generation of gamers coming. There's a new generation who will want to play our games. Let's start gearing that more towards them and our previous generation of Assassin's Creed lovers. They're going to still love it regardless because they still are able to enjoy and respect Assassin's Creed.
Right. But like so they changed so much in them. Like they made it a full on RPG where
Hmm.
you actually gain experience and gain levels. They gave you more. They gave you different gear. They gave you different weapons.
Right.
They gave you. They revamped Eagle Vision. They uh, revamped the fighting style. They revamped the movement controls because like from one to Unity, you could run, you could move, but then if you held down like right trigger R2, you would start to sprint.
Right.
And if you were sprinting, then you could climb the walls.
Right.
In Origins, it's just like
You just
there is
walk
no
up.
sprint. You're always at max run speed when you're
Right.
moving.
Just run up to the wall and start climbing.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. Like they changed so much between Unity or Syndicate and Origins that it like they really like it, to me they changed so much because like you said it finally broke.
Right.
It was finally like okay, we're not hitting our numbers anymore. We're not getting the sales. People aren't playing this game for as long as they were if they did buy it. Something about it they don't like anymore.
Right. And
Which, that's one of the reasons why I think they went off the beaten path after 4, because after 4 is Rogue,
right.
and Rogue you play as an assassin that goes rogue and joins the Templar,
Right. And you actually
and that gave a whole new perspective on the game.
I think Rogue that was around the same time as the Assassin's Creed 3 because if I remember correctly, he's the one who is trying to. So in Assassin's Creed 3, when you're playing as Hatham on the boat, they're like, "Oh, it's a Templar ship or assassin ship or whatever." They look out in the distance and they're like, "Okay, well we might die now." And then I feel like if I remember correctly, that's the same boat that the guy in Rogue that he was commanding. I don't know though. I personally I never played Rogue. I have a really good friend who plays Rogue who talks really highly about it, but anyway, I think that we have been jumping around all over the place and we're about to be ending here in the next 15 minutes. I feel like we should wrap up on our final comments about Assassin's Creed's evolution. And next week we'll be talking a bit more about the evolution. I know we said we were gonna start from like Assassin's Creed 1 up until like 4 or Rogue or something, and then go from
We kind
Unity.
of have though. We've stayed pretty much on topic and on
No, for
uh,
sure.
time path
I th-
because we've hit on Assassin's Creed number 2, Brotherhood. Like we didn't really talk about Revelation, but like in my mind,
Revelation is
Revelation,
the same as Brotherhood. It's just in Constantinople.
well, kind of, but I feel that Revelation's focused more on Desmond. and Desmond's struggle
Okay. Right.
because that's where Desmond dies is in Revelation.
No,
Spoiler alert, guys.
as he dies in 3.
He actually full on dies in 3. See, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
so
I didn't know
Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is when he gets his mind controlled by the Apple of Eden, and he kills that chick that he's all got the hots about, and
Right.
then they go over to the um, they're driving around and whatnot looking for the next piece of Eden or whatever, and then from there Desmond is stuck in the Animus. Like his
And
mind is jumbled up and whatnot, and he has to escape the Animus essentially.
that's
So
Revelation.
yeah, yeah, no, you're right. I feel like it did focus more on Desmond a little bit, but Assassin's Creed 3 was starting to get like you were talking about that Desmond Assassin's Creed game. They were starting to touch up on that, and then they just completely threw it off where they were like, all right, Desmond's dead. I was like, whoa, what? I was getting ready
Right.
for like Desmond to be like, all right, I'm a full-blown assassin now, let's go. Because I remember in some of the missions, he was running around playing the assassin role in the modern day, and he's using his hidden blade against people with firearms. Like
Right.
this man has the balls. So, and you can run around with a hidden blade against people with swords and knives, and all right, you're pretty evenly matched here. But this man's running around with a hidden blade against people with frickin' firearms, with a fucking M1911. They're pointed at his face, and he's just like, I got my knives. This man is literally the epitome of I brought a knife to a gunfight, and he still whooped ass. But I was really hoping after that game they were gonna drop something huge, like kind of like wrap up the series and be like, all right, guys, Assassin's Creed Desmond or something. I don't know what they would have called it, but like you're playing as Desmond, you're gonna finally bring an end to the Templars, and then end of Assassin's Creed 3. Spoiler alert: Desmond dies, and I was just sitting there like, yo, what? Like
Yeah.
what happened now?
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you play as Ezio and Altair in Revelations, but the main focus of it isn't on those because in 1, 2, and Brotherhood, the main focus of those three games wasn't Desmond. He was like a side
Mhm.
arching character. He was like, hey, this is kind of what's going on in the background here, guys. But in Revelations, it's like, oh shit, like Desmond's stuck in the Animus. His mind is fragmented. This dude is done.
Right.
Like, like this is the main focus. Like, yeah, but and you couldn't have just made it that. And I understand why they have you play as Ezio and Altair because you can't like that would have been a boring ass game, dude.
Well, yeah.
So
The
boring ass
reason
game.
the way they executed it was perfectly though. The way that Desmond was brought out of the Animus was not only by completing those little side missions where you walk around as Desmond in first person mode, doing his own personal memories, which I loved. I loved like getting a little bit of Desmond's backstory as well, his little monologues.
Yep.
But it was the purpose of that game was I need to figure out Desmond's ancestors so I can figure out why Desmond himself is like supposed to be an assassin. The reason they played as Desmond or as Ezio and Altair, kind of like back and forth, was because like they needed to figure out, okay, what happened between the Templar, or what happened to Grandmaster Altair after he got excommunicated? What happened there to Ezio with his story? Like we need to finalize these two people's arcs. We need to end these. We've pretty much burned them out. We need to figure out how to end them so we can have Desmond finally step up and be the role of the assassin he's meant to be.
And then they kills us off in 3. It's
Right.
yeah. Right.
Honestly, 3 could have been all about Desmond. Like that, like maybe have him be thrown into the revelation or not revelation, Revolutionary War for a little bit. Be like, all right, cool, go parade there because there's still some more aspects of what we need. Like there's another piece of Eden that we need or something. But like it could have been purely Desmond, and then the side missions or the part where you play as Desmond in like the Brotherhood and Revelation, that could have been in the Animus, but everything is Desmond. But
Right.
I I'm not gonna tell them how to write their story because that's not my place. But I feel like Assassin's Creed 3 could have been so much better if they focused so much more on Desmond rather than being kind of like sidelined like he kind of was. And
Yeah.
they didn't kill him off because I'm telling you, Chad, I was so excited. I was so hyped up because I'm seeing this game. I'm seeing Desmond in the first one being basically prisoner to Abstergo. And then Assassin's Creed 2, he finally escapes and he teams up with the assassins in Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, they finally find the Apple of Eden, and then it jumbles up Desmond's brain, so they throw him and lock him in the Animus to keep him alive. Basically, that's his life support. He gets his mind back finally by finding out finishing the story of Altair and Ezio, and they just kill him. And I'm just sitting here be like, okay, you're literally leading up to making a game based solely on Desmond, and you didn't. Like I obviously, like I said, I'm still gonna keep coming back to Assassin's Creed, but man, if they would have ended with Desmond finally like bringing an end to Abstergo and everything, I feel like
Hmm.
that would have brought like that would have brought a great finale to the game. But obviously they didn't. We have to get more information on the Templars, so that's why we play Assassin's Creed 4. You work for Abstergo, which I think is a little interesting, and the way they did that, like I said, is very interesting because you work for Abstergo to make a movie. But what they're really trying to do is they're trying to get like, okay, so we're gonna play as pirate mode in a little before what's his name in Assassin's Creed 3, the Native American guy, the Native American assassin
Oh,
guy in
Connor.
Connor.
Yeah,
That's
Connor.
right. So you play as Connor's ancestor, great grandfather or whatever, and Abstergo's objective at face value to the public is like, okay, we're just trying to make a movie, but they're really trying to be like, we now that Desmond's dead, the assassins are basically done for. So we're gonna find out all the information so we can finally once again rule the world. So I thought that was pretty intelligent. I thought that was smart. Say, like I said, I still love the games, but man, after they killed Desmond, I was just like, well, okay, like they they kind of took something from me, you know? It wasn't Assassin's Creed anymore after that.
Yeah. And like this website that I'm on right now, this says it's kind of like a synopsis of Black Flag.
Right.
It and it's kind of true to what
Oh, you froze. Hold on, chat.
the release
You
or
froze after.
compared to the games released before Assassin's Creed 4, this has more of an open world approach, which again we talked about.
Right.
It says you can upgrade your ship, build your Assassin's Guide. You can also get to enjoy improved naval combat. There are no major additions, but Black Flag definitely changes the tides of the sequel with minor adjustments.
Right.
Again, they they didn't change anything, they didn't add anything, they just tweaked a couple of things.
Right.
Movement's still the same, combat's still the same. You can still get into you versus 50 people fights and come out unscathed just by
Right.
parrying and counterattacking every single time. Like it started to get stagnant. It started to get old.
Yeah, the only thing that was really different was that you go to different islands now, rather than it all being like uh in Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. It's all in Florence. It's all in Italy. But like
Right.
now
Oh,
you
well,
got to sail from oh man, don't get me started on Assassin's Creed Black Flag. You got island to island to island just to get one single animus fragment on each of them. I'm sitting here being like, "Oh my god." So I'm going to travel to this island. All right, got my stuff back on my ship. Travel to this island. Got my stuff back on the ship. Travel to this island. It
and
was
that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying about the open world approach
right.
because instead of you going to the end of the road and then hold X to enter this area, you just hop on your ship and sail to the next freaking
hmm
island.
I think
You
one
know,
major addition they had though was the underwater
oh, I
environments.
think it's a dive. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
like
yes.
that's it. That's really about it.
But then
As well as the
from
ship, but those are the only two things that from Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelation, and 3 that was really changed.
Right. And then they didn't really change anything in Rogue. The only thing they
Nope.
changed in Rogue was the fact that you played as
A
a rogue
Templar.
assassin
Right.
with Templars.
And I don't even think
That's
there was
it.
diving in that game either.
No.
Yeah, so the model still remained the same, and like we said, Chad, like we said, um, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at one point, it finally broke, and then like Ubisoft, they're finally like, okay, well we need to change something. And it's not that like mechanically it broke, it like to the public and to the player, it just didn't feel authentic anymore. I feel like they like with Call of Duty, they it's just like it's the same game. You run and gun. Like all it's I'm saying the boots to ground Call of Duty. It's the same game all the time, just kind of reskinned. Um,
Well, dude, there was a new again because they weren't changing anything from Assassin's Creed 2 to Syndicate.
right.
There was okay. So look, Assassin's Creed 2 was 2009. Brotherhood was 2010. Revelations was 2011.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed 3 was 2012. Black Flag was 2013. Rogue was 14. Unity was 14. And Syndicate was 15. So in the span of fucking 6 years,
Yeah.
they released 7 different games because they didn't change anything.
Right.
Like I said, they reskinned it. After they reskinned it, they changed the storyline, and they were like, "Here's a new game. Here's a new game. Here's a new game."
And then so how what year did um Origins come
Well,
out?
since
Because I think it was like a 2 year difference, 2 or 3 year difference, right?
2 year difference, but then
Yeah,
again,
because that's they
from
had to
Origin,
mechanically change
right?
everything.
But then from Origins to Odyssey, they didn't change a whole lot mechanically because the new
System.
way stuck. It worked very
Right.
well.
So they're
It
like,
was a 1 year turnaround.
right. And like that's honestly a um common trope you see in games in game design. You're gonna see you're gonna see companies that are gonna work on games. They're it's gonna be like, okay, well this works, great, perfect. Let's just keep doing this. We're gonna create a new story. We're gonna create a new um, man, I can't really think right now. We're gonna create a new narrative. We're gonna create new characters, but that's really about it. All that really takes is just a bit of um,
A bit
narrative.
of work.
Yeah, just it's just a bit of work. It's like if the engine is the same, if there was no real upgrade, like say we're working on UE4, we have Knife Fight. Say we want to make Knife Fight 2, we don't really have to change much. We already have the base of everything.
Right.
But say we go from UE4 to UE5, and then we want to say, okay, well then we want to kind of figure out a better way of combat. We're gonna have to revamp everything, not only from UE4, but now we're also on UE5 because I'm pretty sure they created a new game engine in from Assassin's Creed Syndicate to Odyssey, or not Odyssey,
Oh,
Origins. They created
but yeah, no, definitely.
they created a new or they started using a new engine. And
I mean, you can see it. You can see it that
oh yeah,
it changes, man.
right.
It's a complete 180.
I'm okay with it. And like I said, like Assassin's Creed, they're always gonna give me a reason to keep coming back. Like even when they on the Xbox and PlayStation they released the Altair or the Ezio collection. Like I was like, okay, perfect. On my current generation console, I can play all my favorite Ezio games. I loved the Ezio series. Like he was a major part. The fact that they made 3 games about the man. He was a major key player in the Assassin's Creed franchise. So obviously, so everyone liked him, everyone loved him, but I feel like people they got so used to Ezio, and then Assassin's Creed 3, it was a completely different assassin. They're like, well, what's up? On top of that, they killed Desmond, and then the next one, you're playing as the Abstergo agent working to create a movie, which you don't know truly that you're just actually working to take over the world. You start working with Elizabeth and
That dude,
yeah,
yeah,
the English dude, and you
which is
finally
really
start.
cool because like she's like a coffee vendor, like on the first floor of that building, and he's like a fucking delivery package guy, and like
Working
you
undercover
know
as
them,
an assassin. Like yeah, you
right?
know them, but you also, the fact that you know them, you're coming in here thinking, okay, well, I know this person, I know this person. Why the hell are they working for Abstergo? And they start giving you missions, and you start uncovering secrets. You're like, oh wait, holy crap! Like they are being what an assassin is, working undercover in enemy territory. So
Yep.
it's neat and I like it, but I don't know. I feel like we've overstayed our welcome here a little too bit. We're on an hour 41, but Curtis, do you have any last save rounds for Assassin's Creed from Assassin's Creed 1 all the way up until Black Flag or
No,
Rogue?
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's an amazing game. It's an amazing model. They're super fun. If anybody hasn't played them, I highly recommend playing them. But
Likewise.
you just, it's just again, it was the same thing. It's the
Mhm.
same mechanics. It's the same everything. It's just a reskin and a restoring, and you just have to like take it for the story, not for the gameplay. After the first
Mhm.
three,
Right.
like that's the thing. But I can't wait for next week when we actually dive into how they fully changed
And revamped everything.
and revamped everything because that's like honestly I've played and loved. I've gotten everything from the last two Assassin's Creeds, and I actually can't play the old ones anymore. Like I've tried playing going back and playing Black Flag again.
Mhm.
Not the same. Like
It's
I
really
just
not. It's really not.
I
Like
can't play them anymore.
I feel like I could play them for maybe like 30 minutes, and I just got to put the
Yeah.
controller down after that.
I'm like it's not I can't. I just can't.
All right, well, chat. I want to thank you guys for coming in. It has been a true honor. Next week, we're going to be covering the nitty gritty of what they revamped in the overhaul that they have started adding after Unity, really. Dogwood Gaming.
Yep.
Sam, thank you. It was great. I really appreciate you hanging out with us. You know, everyone else, you still here in chat. I appreciate you being here as well. I also want to give a quick shout out to Junior Brovice and Row Shocker 22. Thank you for the follow, even though it was off screen. Hella appreciate that. You're the ones who are helping this channel and helping this community grow more and more. But on that note, we're about to wrap it up. We will be doing more gaming streaming throughout the week. I'll be adding some more tutorials as well. Next week, we will see you at 12 p.m. Eastern, like always. It was great.
Have a good one, guys.